Hi there. So if you're making the mask on Cricut, or any mask really, and you want, I wear glasses, and what I realized is that they fog up when you have the mask on. So one way to get around that is to put these pipe cleaners in the brim, the top brim of the mask. How I've been doing it is just inserting it and top stitching it right across. I also bend the very end because you don't want to get poked. So if you bend it, that will help prevent that from happening. But I'm going to show you how I've been installing it. So this is finished as far as the pieces go, right? It's the right sides are out, it's flipped around, it's top stitched. So I just insert it. And what I will say is you want to be careful. You have to kind of feel to make sure that the pipe cleaner is staying at the top. You can use pins. I always use clips. And the pipe cleaners usually will go at least a little bit out each side. It's really a matter of preference. You can stop it about 1.5 inches inward, or take it right to the very end. It's really up for you. Just to save on time, I think I won't shave off too much of the actual pipe cleaner. I'm just going to show you how I stitch it. So I'm pinning it to make sure it stays towards the top. As I sew, I'm going to be using my finger to make sure that I'm sewing below the pipe cleaner. So you want to slow down a little bit, especially the first couple times you do this. If you go over it, I wouldn't panic. But I'm going to first go down this way to secure it, and then I'm going to go up. Afterward, I'm going to bend this into it, and then I'm going to go over it again to secure it again. So that's how I've been doing it. So the first step, now that I have it placed towards the top, the brim of the mask, I'm going to sew along the bottom. Take my time. My sewing machine, my good one, actually it needs work apparently. So I had to switch to my old trusty Brother CS 6000i. So here we go. Okay, hopefully you get the point. So this side is where the pipe maker is, or the pipe cleaner, excuse me. I'm gonna make sure all my threads are going back towards the side. Place my foot down and start the top stitch below the pipe cleaner. And that's all the way pushed to the top with my fingers. You'll notice, especially on the curves, you just want to make sure to slow down. I try to go as close to the clips as I can before I take them out to try and keep that secure. Also, I notice I kind of have to, when I get towards the top of the nose piece, I have to make sure I'm really pushing it towards the top. Watch your fingers. And I'm just going in because I know it's slipped down. I'm just going to put my finger in there, take my foot off the pedal. And just continue. Once I'm over that nose piece, again, I'm just readjusting, trying to be careful. Again, if you sew over it by accident, it's not a huge deal. And a back stitch at the end. Okay, so now you can see, not perfect, but doing what it needs to. I've top stitched it right below that pipe cleaner. Okay, so then now it'll bend and form to the different shapes out there, so that if you have glasses like me, when you breathe, it doesn't cause your glasses to fog up. So here, there's only a little piece sticking out. I'm just gonna bend that over. And I mean, I imagine you could just leave it at this and not do any more sewing. I'm giving these away though, so I'm trying to make them as secure as I possibly can. So I'm just squeezing it all together, and then what I'm gonna do is stitch down and just follow the lines and make a little rectangle at the end just to secure that piece. Little back stitch. It's kind of like if you ever worked with the zipper, you can sew over it. You just would go a little bit slowly, more slow. Little back stitch. And I'm leaving the needle down, raising the foot, and turning it. And then stitching along the top. I'm going to back stitch a little bit. Again, leaving the needle down, raising the foot, turning it. And stitch, back stitch. And now that I'm happy with that, I'm going to raise the needle. So mad, my other machine. I think it needs to be serviced because I've made so many. It's making lots of noises. Probably just needs oil or something, I don't know. So I'm cutting away all the little, trimming all the pieces that need to be trimmed. And the best thing I found for the ears, and I've made so many, but this one's, it's secure and it's comfortable. I've been cutting 6 by 1 inch. It's stretch, like a t-shirt material. And what I do is the easiest way I found is that when I fold this over, I only stitch down a little bit, and then I start to put this in there so that it's through, and because it's so stretchy, you can hold it and stitch the rest down. I'll just show you that, might as well. So, oh, and this is what that looks like now, by the way. You can't really tell, but it's secure. So now I'm going to just sew about 3/4 of an inch for the earpiece. A little back stitch. And I'll stop right there. I'm so used to my other machine because that's what I've been working on until tonight. Now I've taken that out. Gonna use my trusty purple thing. I'll show you that in a second. Whatever you use to, chopsticks, what have you. I love my purple thing. If you don't have a purple thing, I highly suggest them. Okay, so I have only sewn about 3/4 of an inch, okay? I'm taking this little piece for the ear, and actually what I do is I kind of open up the hole a little bit. I just let it lay on top, and then I take my purple thing or your chopstick, whatever, and just push it through a little bit so that it comes out. So it comes out this side. You see it's already peeking, so now I'm just going to pull it. So I'm pulling it. And now what I'm going to do is And this takes a little bit of practice, but basically I'm gonna hold this down, stretch this, and then top stitch it. And it's better if you do what you can to make sure that you're not stitching over the earpiece. That way it can move around in there, and I'll show you why in just a moment. So holding that down, pull it out the top a little because I want it to really stretch and not get sewn across. Okay. I'm going to place this foot down. So I pull it. Now that I know it's secure under the foot, I can pull this better, just to make sure I'm not sewing on that black earpiece. Okay, so I'm gonna start stitching again, back stitch just a little bit, make sure it stays out of the way. Once I get towards the end, I can let it go, back stitch a little bit. Oh, here, sorry. So now that's all done, you should be able to slide it a bit, right? Which is awesome, because what you're going to do is stitch it together and then shove this stitched part into the hole so that it doesn't really show and it looks cleaner. Which isn't a huge deal, but it's, you know, especially if you're making it for somebody, you want it to look nice. Let's see. I'd like to say I'm using black thread or white thread so you can see it better, but that'd be a lie. I'm just being lazy. Okay, here we go. Oh, I want to backstitch a little bit. So the stretch, I've just been doing a straight stitch, which might be a problem later. But now that I switched to this machine, I realize I do actually have a stitch I can use for stretch material. I should probably switch it. I probably will do that. So there's our ugly little stitched together piece. We're gonna grab the purple thing and first I pull it so that the stitched ends that are together that I want to hide are as close to the biggest. Usually one side of this is bigger than the other, so I always try to pull it to the larger side. And then you just can tuck that stitched part in there and pull it. So tuck and pull till it's all hidden away. I've tried straps, I've tried elastic. It was either uncomfortable, hard to put on, like with the cotton straps I heard it's better because it handles the wash better. But this is t-shirt material, so it should certainly handle the wash. There you go, so see, so that. So again, so now, a little crooked, that's all right. But yeah, that's what I've been doing, and it's the best functioning, the most comfortable, and if you have glasses, it will help you from fogging up your glasses. Hope it helps. Thanks. Bye.